Avengers Infinity War box office just 5-day. Marvel film inches towards $630 million United States dollars. The Avengers and their allies must be willing to sacrifice all in an attempt to defeat the powerful Thanos before his blitz of devastation and ruin puts an end to the universe. Directors: Anthony Russo, Joe Russo. Writers: Christopher Markers. Screenplay by Stephen McFeely. Screenplay by. Stars: Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, and many of stars. Storyline: as the Avengers and their allies have continued to protect the world from threats too large for any one hero to handle, a new danger has emerged from the cosmic shadows. Thanos, a despot of intergalactic infamy, his goal is to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, artifacts of unimaginable power, and use them to inflict his twisted will on all of reality. Everything the Avengers have fought for has led up to this moment. The fate of Earth and existence itself has never been more uncertain. Avengers Infinity War seems to have demolished the box office with a Thanos-like snap of its fingers. The latest Marvel superhero film crossed the 100 crore rupees mark within 4 days of its release, and has no intention of stopping anytime soon. The film passed the Monday test with flying colors, and made 20 crore rupees. According to early estimates, it is expected to make 18 crore rupees on its 5th day, bringing its total collection to 132.82 crore rupees approximately. Trade analysts predicted a 200 crore rupees collection for the film, but seems like the superheroes would zoom past the mark effortlessly. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, Avengers Infinity War has been touted as the biggest crossover event in the history of Marvel. The film has smashed several box office records in the world, including that of the highest opening day grosser ever worldwide. Avengers Infinity War has been running to packed houses ever since the film hit the theaters in India. It was released across 2,000 screens in the country. The film has a stellar cast including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, Benedict Cumberbatch, Scarlett Johansson, and Mark Ruffalo, and tells the tale of Marvel's best superheroes, who have to unite and save the world from the villain Thanos. Avengers Infinity War earned $630 million United States dollars, 417 crore rupees, on its opening day worldwide. Let's we know about the film, the responsibility of working with so many stars, and the challenge while making the film by director Anthony Russo on his own voice.
Anthony, first of all, I saw, as I told you, 20 minutes of the movie. I was simply blown away by the sheer awesomeness of the product. How did you space out 30 superheroes in one, pack them in one film? How do you justify that?
Very carefully, yeah. It's difficult. I mean, look, this movie here is intended to be the culmination of everything that's come before it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with the very first Iron Man movie. So the way, we are trying to tell the story of all these characters collectively in this film. And there is a villain in this film named Thanos, who is going after stones threaded through the different franchises in the Marvel story. And it's Thanos' quest for those Infinity Stones that finally brings everybody together into a single film.
This promises to be the biggest Marvel film of all time, because you have packed everything in one movie. But starting with the, as you spoke about Thanos, the super villain, it's only as good as the villain is, because so many superheroes going against that character. Specifically about that character, how did you handle that one super villain character?
Well, look, historically from the comic books, the source material, Thanos is the strongest villain in the Marvel universe, and we knew that we needed somebody of that strength to threaten this group of people. And so we worked very carefully about crafting his character And we almost thought of Thanos in this film, meaning my brother and I and the writers Marcus and McFeely. We started to think about Thanos in this movie as the lead character of the movie. And we started to kind of orchestrate the whole film around him. So he has a very powerful place in this film. And his story is very much drives the film.
I see a lot of humor as much as I saw. There's different kind of humor. There's the Iron Man, dry wit, very oversmart, that sort of tone. And then there's the Guardians of the Galaxy with Chris Pratt, that goofy setup that comes in. And I love that more, by the way, with the Guardians of the Galaxy setup. Talk to me about the humor in the film and the different characters coming together, different superstars also coming together.
I think what's special about this movie is that you are seeing characters from very different movie franchises. And those movies all have different tones, different styles, different histories. Some characters come from space, some are from Earth. There's an amazing variety of different types of people and different types of narrative tones being put together in a single film. And that's part of the challenge, and a creative challenge for my brother and I. We've always thought of ourselves as mad scientists, and we'd like to sort of combine things that don't seemingly belong together, because sometimes when you do, it gives you something that you didn't anticipate. And I think this movie is like a perfect example of that, is we're taking like a wide variety of ingredients that aren't normally mixed, that you don't normally have the opportunity to mix, and we're putting them together in a single film.
Growing up, were there any films that you sort of liked, that influenced you being these directors, helped you, making these films as a cine fan, not so much as a director now? Growing up, were there like films like the Gremlins or something like that, the B movies that really, that children really like?
Yeah, no, look, my brother and I are huge cinema fans, and we've been cinema geeks all our lives, so we've devoured movies. But what's interesting with these films is like there's really no precedent, and that's something we began to figure out early on as we started to think about how to tell this story. We looked for other models and we're like, there's really no precedent for these films because you've never seen a movie like this before with this number of characters. And drawing upon characters who have appeared in this number of films, there's a huge emotional capital that audiences have in these characters at this point, a huge depth of understanding about the road that they've traveled. And you've never seen anything like that come together in a single film.
Did you feel the pressure then? Like a huge responsibility on your shoulders?
It's a huge responsibility, but for Joe and I, we've always sought out, tried to put ourselves as artists in places that are a little uncomfortable and a little scary. And this movie is a little scary, because of the level of responsibility, because of the difficulty in terms of pulling it off. And that's, I think, where we thrive as storytellers and as artists.
Your favorite superhero? I mean, you have to give me one, your personal favorite out of the 30, and your favorite part of the film. Like, which one was your most challenging one, or that you enjoyed the most?
Okay, so look, it's very hard to pick a favorite character.
But you have to give me one.
Yeah, I will give you one. I think, and this is simply because we have worked so closely with the character of Captain America. We made 2 Captain America movies, Winter Soldier and Civil War. And those movies, while they were ensemble movies, they were told very specifically from his point of view. So I have a real depth of connection with that character over the course of those two movies. Now, moving forward in this movie, we got to play with a lot of other points of view in this character, in this film. And in terms of and then the second question was, what was the most difficult thing?
Yeah,
or favorite part?
Challenging, yeah.
My favorite thing about making this movie was the opportunity to work with so many talented actors. I mean, my brother and I have always been very performer-orientated. We love actors, and we look at it as the director's job to try to create environments and scenarios where you pull the best out of actors. You pull the most emotional texture out of them, you pull the best humor out of them, etc. And to have a cast of this size and this caliber and be able to stage them together and figure out how do they work together best.
But is it difficult managing egos also? Because they're such huge superstars.
They're huge superstars, but you know what? Every one of them knows what a unique opportunity this movie is for them to make. They're as thrilled as we are with the opportunity to work with the rest of the people involved in this film. So they approach the job with a lot of humility and a lot of they know they need to help make it work for everybody. So there's a big sense of teamwork on the film. Because again, no one's ever quite made a movie like this. So everybody involved in it knows that we all have to do our best work and our most collaborative work.